How are you? I hope you are okay. I'm okay. This complicated period. I am happy to present you this book, three suites for alto recorder that I wrote some weeks ago. For me it's interesting to speak with you about this suite because so I can speak about the shape, the musical form of the suite. The suite is a suite of dance that no one dance more, so there is musical forms: prelude, Allemande, Courante, Sarabande, something after the Sarabande that is free, Bourret, Rigaudon, Minuets, and Gigue. Of course, the model at completely different niveau is Bach, the suite for cello. What is interesting that I had no idea to write some suites. I wrote one day one prelude. I had this I needed to write something like a prelude, so I wrote a prelude. The first note are the same but in minor of Bach. Okay, in minor. But I didn't write a prelude Bach in minor. Just use the beginning and then continue. What could be the musical material things that you use in a prelude? There are scale and chord. Chords make an arpeggio and scale. Not really a melody that you can sing, but like a song. This was the first bar, and my idea was that I will repeat 2 times this first bar. Every the model is from Bach. Bach repeat 2 times half bar. And I repeat 2 times the entire bar. Okay, then I wrote a different bar, and then I came back at the beginning. So the first 2 bars are the same of the bar number 5 and 6, and the same of the bar 9 and 10, 11, 13 and 14, 17 and 18. So there is a structure like come back like a rondeau. I like it very much. Etc, etc. And this is the first prelude of the first suite. Now we will see the second prelude of the second suite is in F major, scale, chord, scale of F major, chord of A major. With a chord that is changing. The first is F, A, C, F, the second F, A, C, E flat, and then without B flat, without E flat in bar 9. And the prelude of the third suite in E flat major, in this case, start with the note in a scale number 5, 6, 7, 8. Tom, 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 tom. Repeat 3 times. dominant. And this is in the mediante in the C minor. Okay, I will stop because the computer make... Okay, we can continue. And this was the prelude. But the interesting is that when I wrote the first prelude, I had no idea to write some suite. And one of my pupils, Anna, from Genoa, told me, why you don't write Allemande, Courante? And my answer was, because I don't know how it's done an Allemande and a Courante. In effect, I don't know. I cannot tell you exactly how it's done. But then I thought, but I know very well the Allemande from Bach. So probably I can do something. Because when you play one piece, you are learning the form. Also, if you don't know that you are learning. The Allemande of the first suite from Bach, from cello, and Allemande of the suite number 2 in D minor. And the suite and the Allemande of the suite number 3 in F major in my transcription. Allemande from the suite number 4 that I transcribed still in F major. So playing this Allemande, I learned something. Sure, I learned something. So as I made many times, I told me we can try, and then we will see if I am able or not. And this is the Allemande in G minor from the first suite. What is the characteristic? It starts with the elevare, ta-ta. It is in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it ends normally in 2 parts, and normally the first part in the tonality of the dominant, and start the second part in the tonality of the dominant. Etc., etc. And the Allemande of the second suite in F major, this is the idea is more modern, because I use the first ta-ta, this starting for the first, for the second, and for the third bar. This is surely something that Bach didn't like. Etc. And this is the number, and the number 3 in E flat major. Etc. This was the Allemande. And now the Courante. What we know about the Courante from Bach, that it is in 3, 1, 2, 3. They start like an Allemande. We will see. Bach, suite number 1, Courante. Wonderful, incredible. And suite number 2, Courante, in D minor. suite number 3, Courante. Wonderful piece, not easy. And number 4, okay, and my Courante, so are in 3, 1, 2, 3, in with this structure like the Allemande, 2 parts, and in the middle, the first part, and with the tonality of the dominant. This is the first in G minor. This is the second in F major. Okay, and this is the third Courante in E flat major. Close the video because I will not lost. Oh, I don't know what happened, but in movies sometimes stop it, and I have to force the hand, and I lost all. And now the Sarabande. What is a shape of a Sarabande? Sarabande is in 3, and normally it is boom, 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 boom. It's a piece very teeth, very, I don't know, very something very spacious, the Sarabande. Not easy. The first Sarabande of Bach in the transcription for recorder, because it's a little different. Cello make chord, B chord, drum, a flute, a recorder cannot. Attention that the melody is and the Sarabande of the second suite D minor so 1, 2, 3 solemnal and very special composition, not easy to be played. Suite from Bach number 3. In this case there is a lot of arpeggio because the flute cannot make 2 notes together. Sarabande of the suite from Bach number 4. attention that the melody is with harmony, etc., etc. And now we arrive on my first Sarabande. G minor. So one idea, pam pam pam, repeated in the bar. And now the Sarabande in in F major, big distance, very dramatic piece. Lascia ch'io pianga. And then the third Sarabande, with this big distance between the notes, difficult for the player, for the listener, but make some dramatic effect. Etc., etc. And this is the Sarabande number 3. What happened after Sarabande? Bach wrote some pieces, normally a pair. In the first suite, after the Sarabande, he wrote two minuets, one in G major and one in G minor. G major, and this in G minor. And after the first minuet, you play again the second. In the second suite, again a minuet, D minor and D major. This was in D minor and now in D major. In the suite number 3, after the Sarabande, he wrote two bourrées. Bourrée number 1 and bourrée number 2. Bourrée number 1 in F major, bourrée number 2 in F minor. This was F major and this is F minor. Etc. Not easy. And in the suite number 4, after the Sarabande, he wrote again two bourrées. F major, F major. The first and the second. Okay, and what I did I do? In the first suite, I wrote two minuets. in G minor the first, in G major the second. This was in G minor, and this is in G major. In the second suite, after the Sarabande, I wrote 2 tarantellas. Bach never wrote a tarantella, I think, but it was an idea. I come from Italy, and so tarantella. Etc. This was the tarantella number 1 in D minor, and this is tarantella number 2 in D major. In the suite number 3, I wrote 2 rigodons, if I would remember. Yes, I'm sorry, but I don't know how is really a rigodon, so it was just a souvenir of rigodon. The first was in B major, the second is in C minor, in E flat major, and the second is in C minor. Okay, we will stop after rigodon. Now we are at the end of our suite, following by the model from Bach. The first suite, each suite from Bach ended with a Gigue. The first suite in G major, and the second suite in D minor is a wonderful Gigue. B minor. Etc. And the suite number 3, Gigue in F major, incredible beauty. And the suite number 4, Gigue again in F major in my transcription. Etc. I was not sure what could be a Gigue, the shape of the Gigue. Surely in 3, pa-para, pa-para, pa-pa. The first Gigue that I wrote, and then with the structure in 2 parts, and the first part ended with the dominant. My first Gigue in G minor. Beginning da 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 is Bach in G major, but mine in G minor, and then go in another direction. And the beginning is a quotation. The problem of the second Gigue, that's I rhyme from a tarantella, para pa para pa para pa pa, that is still the same structure, 3 tarat of a Gigue. So I decided to make a Gigue more pa-pam, pa-pam, pam, pa-pam, every in 3. Etc. So no one can think that is a tarantella. And the last Gigue in E flat major, okay, this is the book. There is the ebook and the paperback. I hope you will enjoy. I'm very happy. Probably I will continue with other 3 suites. Bye bye.